Hello, students. This is a video about preparing for your midterm. Um, it is my hope that you will feel comfortable enough with the material and with the testing and with the content and with your calculator that you would enjoy taking the midterm. I know that may be asking a lot, but that's a goal. So let me get to it. Okay, some information about the midterm. Here we are. There are 20 to 25 questions. Now there are a variety of questions. Okay, so number one, it's not a lot of questions, so you can give your time and your attention to it. I think that's a good thing. Number next, there's a variety of types: matching, maybe some form of multiple choice, and then the fill in the blank. Now these fill in the blank questions you have done before, and you know to be careful with how you put the answer in there. So remember, you're rounding most of the time to 2 places and then 4 places. Don't forget the 0 in the front. Number next, the vocabulary. The vocabulary is going to be reviewed as you review your notes. I mean, there is vocabulary on there. In other words, what is a frequency distribution table, right? That's a table of values and the frequency, right? So keep that in mind. There's not a vocabulary quiz, but you need to know the vocabulary. All right, number next. The content. What do I need to know? What do I need to know so that I know I'm not going to see any new information on there? You need to know lessons 1 through 13, okay? This is a comprehensive midterm. As you know, in our culture, especially in high schools, have moved away from comprehensive tests, and then they left it to the test at the end of the year to do that. Well, we're going, we can't do that. So here we're going back to what works and what helps you remember the information. A very comprehensive exam, very, very important. But the good news is we're not trying to give you the hardest problems, okay? A lot of these problems you've seen before. And then number next here, is there a study guide? When I hear the word study guide, I can't help but hear what has become true in high schools, which is basically, let me see the test before I take it. And that's not good educational practice. So hopefully we're not doing that in this class. I do want you to know that the quizzes are like the exercises and the tests are like the quizzes, which is a good way to do things. So on the study guide, I'll show you in a minute, we're going to use, as far as something to look at, the Unit 1 and Unit 2 study guide. So I'll be looking for that. And then what I'm going to do to help you for practice, because I know some of you are a little nervous, I'm going to reopen these quizzes, okay? I'm going to reopen the quizzes. I haven't decided exactly how I'm going to do it, but this is my plan. I'll reopen them for you to take it as many times as you want to, but the grade that you already got for the quiz is going to stick and stay, okay? So keep that in mind. If I was a student in the class, I would love that, okay? So please keep that in mind. And then the last one, I'm going to give you some tips in the midterm by using this review. So please, look at that. Now, all right. So that's what we're going to do now. Remember, these are the things we're going to have accomplished in our first unit. Samplings in the types of data, the summaries, the different qualitative or quantitative data. That's important to get that down. Frequency distributions in their graphs, the measures of center. So remember, we're talking about mean, median, mode. Measures of spread. Remember, we're talking about range and standard deviation and variance. And then measures of position. Okay, measures of position. So that's where that percentile came into there. Make sure that you review that. And again, so this is the wrap up and study guide after Unit 1. These questions, as you know, are related to the question in the lesson notes and in the videos. beginning with what is statistics, all the way, down here, distinguishing between the different types of things in statistics. For example, how to use the empirical rule. That's the 68, 95, 99 rule. Okay, Chebyshev's, remember that had to do with at least 75%, at least 89%. And then Z-scores, quartiles, 5-number summary. Remember, an outlier is over 1.5 times the interquartile range. And so these are important things in your Unit 1 wrap-up. Unit 2 wrap-up, here we're talking about probability and random variables. Remember, I made a video on introducing this unit, so maybe that helped you out. Good description here of what you were going to study, and then here are the titles here. I know that some of you have had some trouble with 10, 11, and then 12 and 13 are not that bad if you get down the procedures. So you really need to be making sure you know how to do the lessons and getting help if you don't understand them. So keep that in mind. And just like that Unit 1, the little summary and wrap up here, we're calling it a study guide. Remember, it's really your responsibility to go through the lessons. It's important that you learn the material. All right, so you should know this idea of constructing a sample space. Hey, if I throw 2 coins, what are the possibilities? Head, 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 tails, tails, heads, tails, head, or tails, tails. That's a sample space. All the possible outcomes. We are talking about binomial probabilities. We're talking about the normal curve. We're talking about finding areas under the normal curve. That means the probability that some event would happen. And then how to do the inverse operation. So it really a very, very good unit. And I hope that Unit 2 was a very great learning opportunity for you. Okay, let's put some things into what we're saying here. What are some what are some basic topics that you'll see on your midterm? Well, you're going to see probability. You're going to see the probability of 2 things happening one after the other. Remember, that's addition. You're going to see conditional probability. Know that little formula, but know how to use the formula. You're going to be seeing questions about sampling. Remember the different types of sampling. You're going to need to know how to put the probability distribution function in for a binomial probability. So that you did all of that on the calculator. You need to know what the definition or conditions of a binomial experiment or binomial trial is. Another thing you need to know is expected value. Know the standard normal curve. Know the calculator. Know how to calculate on the calculator and know how to do these procedures. Know how to find the z-score. And my advice is draw a picture. Maybe I should show you how I do the lessons, maybe not 10 or 11 or something like that, where I explain how to draw the picture so it helps you do the problem. All right, so that's a little bit about the content. Okay, so what kind of advice would you want me to give you to get ready for the midterm? Just review and verify that you know the material. So what that means is review your notes. You'll get the vocabulary by reviewing your notes. And to help you, I'm going to reopen your quizzes. So retake the quizzes. I'll reopen them, and you can take them as many times as you want to. That's really a pretty good idea. Remember, you can't improve your score, okay? And test 1, I plan on reopening test 1 in maybe today or tomorrow, so that you could go back and look at the questions on that if you want to, okay? Remember, you cannot improve your grade on that. All right, so hopefully that helps you. Okay, one of the things that makes people a little nervous about taking an exam is they can't have a formula card or, bring in their notebook. Um, uh, what I'd like to do is really encourage you to have some calculator reminders. So maybe put your little calculator procedures that you need to remember on a card. By doing that, it'll focus your mind on this is what I really need to remember. Another thing that would be helpful to put on a card, and again, you're not taking this into your exam and taking it out, but you're putting it on a card to keep it in front of you, are the formulas. Okay, that may help you. Now, I can't promise, but I'm planning or trying. I'm thinking about coming up with a short video on some of the major calculator procedures and the formulas that you need. I will try, but I'm not promising to get that out. I'm a little busy right now. Another reminder, when you put your answer in the blank, make sure if it's a rounding answer, 2 decimal places or 4 decimal places. And remember, if the number to the right is 5 or higher, you got to round up. Keep that in mind. And put a 0 in the front. Okay. I do want to wish you the best on your preparing for your midterm. For some of you, it means going through the rest of the quiz material and then taking that Unit 2 test. I understand that. But I'm going to have a Q&A on Thursday evening. I'm saying 9 o'clock, so you could mark that down if you want to. And so here we go, whether it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, you have your midterm, you're signed up. That's great. I commend you for that. I would get to that location about 15 minutes early, okay? Now, you're going to have plenty of time to take this exam, okay? But I would get there 15 minutes early so, you're not nervous or anything. You have your calculator out there, okay? You can even review some of that, stuff on those cards if you want to, okay? All right, so you get your midterm done, you see your grade, you like your grade. If that's you, I would go out somewhere and reward yourself. That's what I would do, okay? Before you start again into the content, that is what I would do. So please keep that in mind. All right, I hope this was helpful. And remember, as always, please email me back if you have questions or comments. Thank you very much.